Hey guys, this is Techno707, and I just want to talk about the new iOS software update for iPods, iPads, and iPhones, and that is the 4.3.2 update, and I could show you here. If you go to the Apple software update, oh no, I don't want to go here. Whoops. Go to 4.3.2. Go there and we see iOS 4.3.2 software update is on the Apple website, and it talks about FaceTime issues with frozen video or even just blank screens, even if you have sufficient Wi-Fi during FaceTime. Also talking about iPads and their 3G connection internationally, and security updates, which I didn't quite understand yet. So. Things you can do this with are with the AT&T iPhone and the iPhone 3GS, iPad 2, iPad, iPod Touch, and the last two. And that was released April 14th. So that's about it. I just wanted to show you a little bit there. Bye.